lift safely, okay? So I'm going to review the sheet, and you guys can read with me, and then I'm going to go into specifics, okay? So first I'll read the sheet, and then we'll go into specifics. First and foremost, test the weight you're lifting. So you want to know how heavy, right? So you want to kind of have an idea, you kind of feel it, so you want to know how heavy, right? And if you need one person, 1 or 2 people to lift, okay? All right, secondly, you want to plan your path for removing the obstacle. So if you have any obstacles in your way, you want a clear path, right? So ask for heavy help with very heavy or awkward. So I have an awkward thing to lift that will practice that. And use carts, dollies, right? Dollies. Even if you don't have something like a dolly or gliders, right? Gliders. Make something. Like if you don't have that, something like, you know, in the place where you have to lift something, you can always just move something like on a sheet or on a drop cloth, take like some kind of strap and just pull it, okay? When you are lifting something, keep it close to your body. So this is the next section, safe lifting. You want to keep it close to the body, right? So I'm going to do a little experiment. We'll do the experiment when we're doing this, but the further away from the body, the harder it's going to be on the back, right? Your back's going to start to strain. As you bring it closer to the body, it's going to be more controllable with your core and with your spine and your trunk. So further away, harder, closer, better, safer. Next, feet shoulder width apart. Strong base of support. You want to have feet, you don't want to be close, feet close together. Strong athletic position, right? You guys are playing sports, athletic position. So strong, wide base of support. You want to bend at your hips, not at your knees, okay? So hip hinge. We're going to go over a hip hinge with all of you. I'm going to give you a down. I'm going to practice that. But a hip hinge instead of leading with your knees, right? Hips, knees go along for the ride, but it's all about your butt muscles. You want to use your butt muscles. So you sit back in a chair. Imagine you're sitting back in a chair. Okay. Tighten your abdominal muscles, and that's where your balloon comes in, okay? So I want everyone to take their balloon, and I want you to blow into the balloon, but just let me demonstrate first, all right? I know this seems silly, but I'm telling you, it's really important to learn what your core muscles are. So when you blow into this balloon, you're going to naturally feel your belly button come towards your spine when you're blowing. That means you're bracing your core. You're creating pressure in your lower abdominals, in your lower belly, to protect the back, okay? Really, really important. So you blow in the balloon like this. So everyone try that. You're going to feel the pressure in your belly when you blow in the balloon. Do you guys feel that pressure as soon as you blow? Pay attention to your belly button, all right? Blow and then let it out. Do you guys feel that pressure in your belly when you do that? All right, now, let's add it with the hip hinge, okay? So you're going to blow in the balloon, and you're going to stick your butt back at the same time. And now let it out, and then come up. All right, let's try it again. Good. It's going to seem more and more natural. Hip hinge. Get your butt back, okay? Don't lead with your knees. Butt back, all right? Again. Okay. Does everybody understand that connection? Are you connecting that, pulling that belly button in and you push your butt back? Okay? I want you to imagine you've got a string at your tailbone. Okay? And the string is pulling the belly button in as you shift your weight back. That's going to create pressure in there. Protect your back. You take your balloon. Just watch. I'm going to demonstrate first. Bring it behind your back, right? So I've got my head, my shoulders, and it's in my butt. So it's aligning my spine, right? And come back up. So you want to keep your spine, your head, your shoulders, and your tailbone all in one line and come on back up, okay? I'm going to show the right way, and my friend over here is going to show me what he was doing that's not right, okay? All right, come on, everybody. The right way. Head, some people are going to have a natural curve in your upper spine. spine. Your head won't be able to touch, that's all right. But keep the tailbone and the shoulder blades at least intact, right? So my spine is long. Okay, look at my friend, look how much that's bending. That is what we don't want. So a hip hinge is more a softening of the knees, but you're not coming into a full squat, okay? So for example, this is a higher box for me, right? So I'm not going to really need to do a squat for this. I'm only going to need to do a hip hinge, right? So I'm sticking my butt back. I'm only a little bend in my knees, right? Imagine I'm blowing that balloon. I'm bracing my core, right? I'm bringing it really close to my body, and then I'm using my legs and not my back, okay? If I were to do this, right? See that rounded back, right? And I'm going like this, that's how we get an injury, okay? See how my back's rounded, and I'm trying to pick it up and use my back. No rounding the back, right? Okay. No rounding the back. Flat back, butt back, lift, okay? Okay, so a hip hinge is not as high. I'm sorry, the hip hinge is higher, you don't have to get low. Now, if you're lifting a box, you want to get lower, right? You're going to get down and come into that squat. So now a squat is a hip hinge, but now I'm getting low, and I'm going to get nice and low, keep it close to my body, and use my legs to pick it up. All right, so those are the main differences. The hip hinge is the foundation for all safe movement. It's really critically important that you learn to lead with the hips and not the knees, okay? Hips, not knees, okay? All right, really important that we all understand that. And this is going to apply to your everyday life. This is not just work. This is sitting and standing. This is getting on the toilet. This is getting up and down from the floor with your kids or your grandchildren or your siblings. Whatever the case may be, you want to learn how to properly move up and down from the floor. So, now you know the hip hinge and the squat, right? A safe squat. Next really important thing is, one, use equipment like the dolly, like gliders. Pushing is a lot easier on the body than pulling, okay? So if you can, you want to push instead of pull. And you want to use something that, glide. So you want to get the hip hinge, right? Step butt back, and you want to push it and use your hips to move it forward. That's a lot less stress on the body than pulling something. So use something to pull if you can. Like I made this little makeshift, glide, a cloth, anything you can use to pull and help the person push, that's going to make it easier too. So ideally pushing is the safest, but if you have to pull or pull with push, you want to, use something that's, going to help you pull.
You'll show the best way to pull?
The best way to pull, is using some kind of object, right? That's going to lever. Yeah, so I'm going to show. So you're going to use your hip hinge, right? I said, guys, the hip hinge is the foundation for everything. You're going to use your hip hinge, get low, use your legs, and pull, right? Pull using your hip hinge. Belly button, imagine you're blowing into the balloon. I'm tightening my tummy as I pull, or you're going to pull, but you want to sit back in that chair. You want to engage the core, tighten your core, use your glutes. Your glutes are the strongest and most powerful muscles in your body. There's a reason for that. You are to use those muscles primarily in lifting, not the back, or pulling or pushing, either way. All right, don't try not to twist with that weight, right? So you don't want to be like twisting like this, right? You want to hold it, and stay square to the object that you're pulling. You primarily want to push if you can. You want your weight behind the object, but if you have to pull, you want to stay square, hip hinge, use your core, okay? All right, next. Twisting, all right? This is really, really important, guys, that you understand this, okay? So when you have to move something to another place and you want to twist, right? We don't twist, okay? You hinge, pull belly button to spine, get nice and low, right? Lift the object, then you turn your feet to where you want to place it. You sit back in your chair and you lower it down, okay? So it's get down, head is facing, right? Eyes facing, chest is forward, lift it up. Turn your feet, place it down. But it's all about the hip hinge and the core, okay? None of lifting and this. Take short, steady steps. When you're lifting something, right? You know, take short, steady steps, right? You know, and make sure you have nothing in your way, but short steps. And I also want to go over this, which is like lifting two things. Like if you're carrying two buckets or something like that, like two heavy things, right? So you're going to get low. Let me go from here. So you're going to get low here, right? I'm getting nice and low. I'm in my squat, right? And I'm going to use my butt muscles, okay? Now my core is engaged. I'm tightening my tummy, and I'm walking, taking small steps. I'm standing tall, right? I'm grasping the kettlebells, but I'm using my core stabilizers. My core is braced, and I am walking carefully, smaller steps. When I come to where I want to place it down, once again, what is that? What am I going to do, guys? Hip hinge. All right? Wide base of support. If I have to lower it on the ground, right? Stick my butt back, lower it down, and come on up.